What's up YouTube, Stellar Christoph here for another Elestrals video, and today guys we're going over Lifestream cards. We are actually going to do a top 10 video of top 10 cards that I'm most looking forward to seeing. Not necessarily they're all going to be the best cards in the meta, but it's cards I think that are going to be pretty good and some combos I can see moving forward. So no particular order. I will say at the end of it I will have an honorary mention. The only reason why those cards are going to be honorary mentions is because they do need a lot of setup to play, as I've tested and it did not go very well. So first card we're going to go over is Dionysus' Madness. I do think this is a card that everyone's really looking forward to seeing. Days of Rage and Celestial until your next turn. If Dionysus is enchanted, you may also change that Celestial's position, and you may enchant your Dionysus with Earth from Underworld. So the main reason everyone's going to be playing this card is going to be Days in the Rage. You know, your opponent has a Pantera out there, daze it so it can't attack. The Enrage part's really cool because, again, if your opponent plays Alter, if they play Tsunami to switch your battle position, the Enrage is going to force you to go back into attack mode. The other kind of cool scenario there is going to be, say, with Viscerus. You're going to go ahead and, say, beat over an Elestral with your Viscerus on field. You're going to be able to bring another one out per its special cast effect, but you can then Enrage that Elestral and then switch it to attack mode, so you actually get another attack off and hopefully get your third Viscerus on field. That also works with enraging your opponent's Elestrals. Say your opponent has a Astravid on field. It's the only Elestral they have. They're going to try to end their main phase. You can enrage it so they have to attack. And again, if you have guys that are bigger than 2, or even if you want to crash it with a 2, you can go ahead and clear their board. One combo that actually is kind of slick with this, and I'm trying to bring it back, I'm trying to bring the card back, is Pheromel. This card pairs awesome with Pheromel. So Pheromel is that you expend a Lunar when your opponent declares an attack, negate the attack, and then you can bring out your one of Pherogeist. Dionysus' Madness now makes it so your opponent has to attack, so you do get to use that expend effect, hopefully the turn after you play. As long as they don't EQ you right away, then you'll be able to get that combo off. Alright guys, next card on this list is going to be Guardian of Light. Again, this is going to be another card that just stops the battle altogether. I do see some people fitting this into their decks and trying to add extra Solar Spirits to get that heal off, even if you're using it for Ambrosia or if you're using it for PTA, Shield, Gorgons, whatever. But Guardian of Light can only be played after an opponent Celestial declare an attack, negate the attack, and return up to 2 solar from the Underworld to your Spirit deck. Again, this is going to be a 3 of it every single solar deck. If you don't, I don't know what you're doing. You again negate an attack from a big guy and then also heal 2 immediately, so that works out perfect. Mixing that with Ambrosia is going to heal you 15 throughout that battle, if you don't have other cards like Cathmel in your deck. Alright guys, next card we're going to go over is going to be Psy Nectar, Champion of Dionysus. Again, really cool card. When you cast this Psy Nectar, or when this Psy Nectar becomes dazed, you can search your deck for a PTA, Poison Nectar, or a Poison Tunic and add it to your hand. So again, now you're getting that search option for your old Psy Nectar to go ahead and get your Wasp Ivies out, that quick ascension. It also lets you set up, okay? You draw Psy Nectar, but you draw no counter runes that turn. If you are playing 1, 2, 3 poison tipped arrows, you can go ahead and search that, play it face down. Your opponent knows what it is, but at the same time, you're able to counter something else that they're doing. Mix that with the new PTA that we have, which is Poison Tipped Arrow, Artemis' Arrow, which is an invoke, so you're going to be more proactive with this. Target an Celestial, suppress it, and give it -2/-2 until the next turn. You may enchant Lunar from your Underworld to enchant your Artemis. That part doesn't matter much if you're going the Wasp Ivy deck. This just gives you another automatic play to get your Wasp Ivy out. Play your old side, or play Old Side Nectar. They're going to do whatever they're going to do, maybe nothing. Go ahead and activate Poison Tipped Arrow and try to be proactive with that combo. This actually honestly works kind of good too with the new Poison Nectar, which no one played the old Poison Nectar, but the new one, Dionysus' Chalice. You do have to have Dionysus on field, but you're able to force your opponent to discard a card and expend 2. So again, the Poison Nectar would still activate your old Psy Nectar's ability to ascend. So just another card in that lineup. Again, you're going to use old PTA as well. And then also, if you're going ahead and use an Argo package, or in general, if you want to add Poison Tunic, again, it gives you another option to do your moves that much sooner. Get all the cards that you need. The one thing that's been kind of bad with Wasp Ivy decks is you're hoping to draw all the cards. Now, with all these new cards from Lifestream and even prior cards, you're going to be able to search almost every piece that you need to try to get that quick ascension and just force your opponent to actually have to play the counter runes early, or they're going to have to go defensive immediately. If you get Wasp Ivy out quickly, then again, you're just going to start swinging over everything that they have. Alright guys, next one's going to be one that's kind of interesting. I don't think a lot of people are really looking at this style of deck. This is going to be Giraflora. It's Champion of Demeter. So 2 attack, 5 defense. When you can target a Demeter or champion of Demeter in your underworld and return it to your hand if Giaflora has the highest defense on field. So anytime you see the phrase highest defense on field, that does also imply if you're tying. So if your opponent has, say, Astrabbit on field and you have Giaflora, it is a tie. Same scenario like Race to the Top. You have to match the defenses. If they match, then you go ahead and pop. You get to choose which one you're going to pop. So the cool thing about this one, again, any champion of Demeter in your underworld, you're going to be able to grab. Doesn't matter if it's the Pandison champion, so you can heal. Doesn't matter if it's the new Moss Station, so you can start trying to swing over. But the cool combo with this one is honestly going to be paired with its Ascension, Gigaflora, champion of Demeter. So Gigaflora is a 5/7. We're not actually looking at that part of it. We're not looking at the actual physical Elestro. We're looking at that expend effect. So again, you can expend an Earth and discard this Gigaflora in order to search your deck for a champion of Demeter and add it to your hand. So the cool combo with this is, say your opening hand, you get this Gigaflora, right? And you're sitting there like, damn, I have a 2-drop, I need a 1-drop. You can activate this guy's effect, expend Earth, search your deck for that Giaflora, play Giaflora, and then activate Giaflora's effect to grab Gigaflora back. And then you can rinse and repeat. You can do that effect again that very turn. So you can do Gigaflora twice in one turn, and then same thing, just every single turn. If there's none other Lustro that you need from Underworld, grab Gigaflora, search your deck. So honestly, with this combo, depending on how many champions of Demeter that you're playing, you can go ahead and constantly grab an Elestro from deck. I'm honestly kind of interested in the future of these cards, depending on what the next couple sets look like and what other champions in Demeter that we get, how broken this effect's going to be. You know, it makes me think of Galaxair, champion of Aeolus. When you search it with Aeolus's effect, you can go ahead and special cast it. I wonder if we're going to get a champion of Demeter that says when you draw it, you can special cast it, or when you get it into your hands. Whatever scenario you want to talk about, if you can pair Gigaflora with that, go ahead and grab the card and play it. That'd be a really cool mechanic. Looking at its actual on-field effect, though, you can special cast a 1-Spirit champion of Demeter from your Underworld and give it +3 attack until the next turn. That's going to pair really well with the new Moss Station, because then that's going to bump that Moss Station to a 7 attack. Moss Station's effect's kind of cool. When it attacks, you can enchant it with Earth, and then if it's the highest attack on field, you can enchant it with Earth. I did have to get clarification on that. It's enchanted from Underworld, so you're using Gigaflora's effect to expend Earth, which is going to power this Moss Station and make it even stronger as you're going. Again, you're also going to have the Pandison champion effect to actually heal 2 spirits every turn if Demeter's on field. But again, combine all these up together. You're going to use Demeter to buff this guy, to buff the Moss Station. You're going to be able to add more spirits to it. And then if you're playing Altar Shenanigans, or even if Circle of the Sky, God forbid anyone plays Circle of the Sky anymore, you can use the effect of the Nexus to take from Moss Station, put it on your Demeter, power your Demeter up even more, and just continue that process over and over again. Now again, guys, I did say this top 10 list is a list of cards I'm looking forward to see, not saying that they're necessarily going to be meta. And this next card that we're going to talk about is something I'm hoping is actually going to be able to help me do a certain strategy. If you don't know, I love Dracking. I absolutely love Dracking. I love the effect of being able to pop something, grab it on your field, protect that Dracking. As we know, the Dracking deck sucks. Through and through, it does not have a lot of good pieces. The only quick ascension is going to be with your Drakid and using Rock in a Hard Place. That's the only quick ascension that we have right now. So, the reason why this next card I'm personally looking forward to, because it helps you get your Drakid, or helps you get whatever pieces you need. And that is Foamy, champion of Poseidon. Again, just hear me out for a minute, just hear me out. I know a lot of people are looking forward to the Octopus decks, and especially since we got the new Crackhead and the new Kraken, but I'm going to go the opposite route. So 1 attack, 3 defense. When this Foamy receives 1 or more water, you can search your deck for a 1-Spirit Aquatic, I believe it is, Elestro, and add it to your hand. So that includes when you cast it. So you're going to cast this card, you're going to search your deck, and honestly for me, I'm looking at grabbing my Schnark, which will help me find either my Drat King if I really want to do Hard Ascension, or Rock in a Hard Place, but it also lets you find your Drat Kid. So again, if you're opening up with Foamy and Rock in a Hard Place, go ahead and get your Drat Kid. And then next turn, if they have a face down or any rune on field within the Lestro, you can go ahead and do that quick ascension. Remember, when you play Rock in a Hard Place, it cannot be countered. So if your opponent only has Gorgon's Gaze face down and you do the Rock and a Hard Place, they're going to have to be proactive and use the Gorgon's Gaze on the Drat Kid's cast. But again, if you have other cards to protect it, that's not a bad thing. You'll be able to still protect it one turn. Again, if you're going that route and you're running 2 to 3 Rock and a Hard Place, you can still do Rock and a Hard Place, have them destroy something, have that second one waiting. Or again, you do have Snark, you can go ahead and play Snark to search that card. So as you guys know, we are going into Lifestream. We're getting 2 new Divines. We're getting Dionysus, but we're also getting Aphrodite. So the next card I'm actually going to talk about is something that belongs to her, is the Necklace of Aphrodite. So this card, when it empowers Elestral, it gets +3 defense and it has the name of every water Elestral. When the empowered Elestral is destroyed by your opponent, you can return up to 2 spirits from your underworld to your spirit deck. We could care less about the secondary effect right now. I'm looking at the first part of that. It has the name of every water Elestral. So your first thought is, okay, cool, I can play my Necklace, I can use Aphrodite's effect, I'll be able to grab another card. That's not what we're talking about with this card. We're going to go a little more aggro with this scenario, and we're going to talk about Old School Waylands. Old School Waylands, when it destroys an opponent's Elestral in battle, you can search that player's deck for any number of cards with the same name as that Elestral and send them to the underworld. So, if you are playing any kind of deck that has Water and Frost, if you have Water and Frost spirits, and you know you're going up an opponent that's playing primarily Water, side this in. This doesn't necessarily need to be a main deck card, but just imagine having 1 or 2 Waylances. You can do the new Narpoon as well for the quick ascension, but also having that Necklace and being able to pull this combo off. Again, somehow if you're playing a Hurricane or you're playing Helios' Chariot Ride to shut off their back row, and you can get this guy on field, you play Necklace, equip it to your opponent's Elestral, so that Elestral has the name of every single water Elestral in the game. Past and future, and then go ahead and beat over it, and now you're literally going to rip every Elestral out of their deck that is water enchanted, or water enchantment cost. So at that point, most people playing bunnies, they're going to have bunnies left for the rest of the game. They're not coming back from that. There's not that amount of removal in this game, and even if they're playing some kind of a mill strategy, most mill strategies, or every mill strategy, has to do with Elestrals. They need Elestrals to play the effects. So again, matching Necklace of Aphrodite with this Waylance could destroy your opponent's deck and immediately mill them out, and they're going to forfeit right there. The game's going to be over at that point. It just depends on what other strategy you have to protect this or actually to pull this off. Again, having the new Narpoon is just, you need enough cards on field to be able to play that off, but if your opponent's not expecting this combo, it should be game over right there. Unless they have a shield or they have something back there to stop this attack, you're going to go ahead and destroy half their deck. Alright guys, so we are talking about Water Elestrals, and we're talking about Aphrodite right now. So the next card we're going to go over is actually going to be Aepharos, Champion of Aphrodite. It is a 4 attack, 2 defense. This Aepharos in your hand can be special cast with Water if you control an Aepharos, and then not special cast an Aepharos this turn. Very specific right now. When there are 2 or more Aepharoses on your field, they all have a base 5 attack. So that's very awesome for Water, because most Water is defensive in nature. There's a couple cards, say like Eddie and the Starbits, that have more aggro, they're more attack based. But again, you're going to have this one that's going to make all base Aepharos attacks a 5, which is really awesome. Because right now you have 3 champions, you have 3 old Aepharoses. But you also have another champion, which is Magnaros. So Magnaros is a 3/3 Thunder. So again, a little bit different. We are going the more Thunder route now. But when you cast this Magnaros, you can search your deck for an Aepharos or Aepharos' Soulmates and add it to your hand. So that's the first part of the combo, is now this counts. You can search your deck for that Aepharos. The secondary effect is, while this Magnaros is enchanted, it also counts as Aepharos. So if you are starting off turn 1 and you have this Magnaros, by the end of turn 1 you'll have 2 Elestrals on field with a base 5 attack. Not too shabby. Again, Aphrodite's Soulmates, I believe, is when you have 2 Elestrals with the same name on field. One gets destroyed, you can bring it back to the field that same turn immediately. So again, able to do that kind of a combo is really slick. I can see these being 3 of each in most decks, just to get 2 Elestrals out at the same time, 5 attack each, start swinging over, start putting pressure on your opponent. Again, if they're going to shield both of them one turn, or if they're going to go ahead and, you know, GG one of them, they're going to go ahead and PTA the other one. Whatever they're going to do, you can still start getting that back row removed. On average, you see most people play 8 to 12 counter runes, so this is going to help you bait those counter runes out even more. Alright guys, next up on this list is going to be Rise from the Shadows. My Lunar Casters, you guys have support, and it's an amazing support card. This Rise from the Shadows can only be played when one of your Elestrals is destroyed by your opponent. Listen to that very carefully. It doesn't have to be destroyed in battle, not by card effect, just in general, when they destroy that Elestral. Go ahead, special cast that Elestral from Underworld using Lunar from your Underworld. So I'm just trying to think of different scenarios that this would really help. I would love it for Fairgeist, for instance, or even say Posthumous, because then the Posthumous would be properly enchanted. The Fairgeist would be off by 1, but if you have another Solar Spirit next turn, re-enchant, now you're going to start burning your opponent, and then it can't be sent back to your hand. The cards I'm looking forward to this with the most are going to be Nobby and Doppelganger. How often, guys, do you have your Nobby and you cast your Nobby and they PTA and they destroy it? How often do they go ahead and alter stars with Tsunami your guy and then they beat over it? No more. Let them go ahead and do that. Cool, you beat my Nobby. I'm going to rise from the shadows. I'm going to bring my Nobby back. Because it didn't get enchanted from that effect, you're also going to lose 2 attack across the board. And then hopefully if you're going to attack into it or whatever combo I need to do, hopefully next turn I can attack and get Doppelganger out. Looking at it on Doppelganger's example. So Doppelganger, again, gets removed, right? There are times they're able to get over it. There are times they're going to Earthquake it, whatever. Cool, you destroyed my Doppelganger with your one-of cards, whether it be Resting or Earthquake. Rise in the Shadows brings it back. I do think a lot of Lunar decks should be running 2 to 3 of these. Probably 2 would be the safest bet, even if you want to side deck a 3rd. But if you're looking for a deck that's straight Lunar, if you're looking for a deck that's going to be playing your Nobbies, and you really want to play your Stellar Nobby like somebody right here, this card's going to be a must-have in those decks. Alright guys, for this next one, we're actually going to do our honorary mentions because the last 2 cards we're going to go over they kind of work in tandem together, so I want to go ahead and talk about them both. So this card right here is going to be your Corvuscant Champion of Apollo. This is the first card. There's 2 cards right here we're going to talk about. This fixes the Apollo problem and the Foretell problem, and I'm very excited for it. So 2 attack, 5 defense, it's Bunny. So your effective Foretell reveal an additional 3 cards. Notice how it doesn't say Apollo's effect. Anytime you foretell, so it doesn't matter if you're using other elements, it doesn't matter if you're using Torch of Hestia, it doesn't matter if you're using Apollo, Nebuleo, whatever, you're going to foretell an additional 3 cards. You can shuffle your deck and then, secondary effect, sorry. You can shuffle your deck and then you may enchant your Apollo with a Solar from Underworld. So again, that's the part that fixes Apollo. So Apollo, you're going to keep foretelling, and I've seen this so many times, I'm sure some of you guys have as well, is your opponent has Apollo, they foretell C3, pass. Next turn, they draw 1 card, foretell 3, whatever they're going to do. They're seeing the same 2 cards over and over again if they're not able to draw a card using Apollo's effect. This completely fixes that. You're going to go ahead and play Apollo's effect for now 6 cards. So your next 5 to 6 turns, you see exactly what you're going to be doing. You don't like what you see? Activate Corvuscant's effect. You're going to go ahead and shuffle, add an additional spirit to Apollo, and now you're going to be able to do that effect over and over and over again. This card also pairs really well with Solar Burst. So Solar Burst is a new removal card. You have to ditch a Solar Elestral, and whatever that cost is, you destroy an Elestral that has equal enchantment cost. Not the same element, but equal enchantment cost. So that's foretell 4 to do it. Now you're going to foretell 7. Again, if you're going to throw some big guys in there, think about your opponent's got Pantera against you. You got Corvuscant. You can use First Light to grab your Celestleo, for instance, put it on top of your deck, then play Solar Burst. That's going to pop your Pantera. This card is partnered up with the other card we're going to talk about for honorary mentions, and that's Humbust, Champion of Apollo. So Champion of Apollo is actually kind of interesting. I did play against this card from Dan, aka Drive, and I'm now looking at these combos. I'm very lucky I actually survived a little bit in that match. So it's a 1 attack, 3 defense. While this Humbust is foretold, it also counts as a Solar Elestral. So using Apollo's effect, you're actually going to go ahead and grab this Humbust. When you foretell, an opponent must send cards from the top of their deck to the Underworld equal to the number of cards that were foretold plus 1. So listen to me very carefully, because there's a 5-card combo that we figured out that is absolutely broken. The reason why these are honorary mentions and these are not in my top 10, the amount of setup you need to do this combo is absurd. You need to have enough protection on field to actually get both of them on field and then start doing these combos. So number 1, you have your Corvuscant, which lets you add an additional 3 cards, okay? Now you're going to have your Humbust that lets you mill cards plus 1 from the foretold. Next, let's talk about Apollo. Apollo's going to foretell 3. With Corvuscant's foretell 6. And then with Humbust, you're going to have your opponent mill 7 cards off the top of their deck, okay? You only have 40 cards in your deck. Let's continue. Let's go ahead and add Nebuleo to this list. You're going to cast your Nebuleo. If you have all 3 of these Elestrals on field, all right? Like I said, this is you need enough setup to actually make this work. Nebuleo's on field, you're going to foretell 4. Because of Corvuscant, you foretell 7. your opponent now has to mill 8 cards off the top of their deck. One more card we're going to add to this list, and that's Solar Burst. Solar Burst, you foretell 4. Corvishine makes it 7. Humbust makes it another 8 cards milled. That was a 23 cards, if I count correctly. 23 cards milled in one turn. Your opponent's not coming back from that very, it's going to be a struggle for him. So again, if you have enough setup and you're able to do this, it's actually insane. Go ahead and add, even like I said, Torch of Hestia. Go ahead and attack. You get to foretell 3. Add 3 more 6. They're going to mill another 7 cards. That hypothetically is 30 cards milled in one hand. Blitztricks might need milling, guys, but again, with these effects, you're going to mill them out before they can actually get their combo set off. So again, the reason why this is the honorary mention is because you literally need 5 cards, 6 if you're counting Torch of Hestia, to actually make this work. As someone who's tested this deck recently, I played I think 4 or 5 games with it. I was never able to get all 5 cards at once. Even running 3 of each in the deck, I was not able to pull these combos off. So you're able to match some of these combos up, which would be really nice. I do think, like, say, Solar Burst should be in almost every single Solar deck right now. Again, you could play the whole Royal Lotto scenario. Every time your opponent attacks, foretell, and if you're able to get in a Solar Celestial, you add it to hand, stops the attack. So you could add the Royal Lotto to make a 6-card combo, which again, it's a lot going on. It's a lot of moving parts. It's a lot of errors, a lot of space for errors. So again, honorary mention right now, but a combo, I would love to see this in a premiere event, or even when we get to Kissimmee, I would love to see this effect go off and someone mill their opponent out turn 2. Alright guys, so the next card we're going to talk about is my favorite little boy. Again, we have one more card to talk about after this, but we're going to start with this one because this actually can help set up your combo for the next card. And this is Spark-It, Champion of Zeus. We finally have a Zeus Searcher, guys, and I'm super excited. 2-1 attack makes complete sense. Zeus, strongest divine in the game, essentially making this guy a 5. So anything else just becomes too strong at that point. So when you cast this Spark-It, you can search your deck for a Zeus or a Zeus's Call and add it to your hand. So again, you're able to use Zeus's effect on the Spark-It. You can go ahead and now bump it up to a 5 if you need to. Or if you have Zeus already, get Zeus's Call, which will let you search your deck for any champion Zeus and add it to your hand. The reason why we're talking about adding a champion of Zeus to your hand is going to be the #1 card I'm looking forward to seeing, and that is Ampump, Champion of Zeus. I love Thunder Puppies. As you guys might know, my dog is actually named Zeus, so I'm super happy. If this guy was black or brindle, I would have been all set. It would have been ready to go. But Amp Up Champion of Zeus is a 4 attack, 2 defense. You can expend Thunder and discard an Amp Pump and research your deck for this to special ascend. Sorry guys, I'm butchering that terribly, so I'm just excited about this guy. You can expend Thunder and discard an Amp Pump in order to special ascend this Amp Pump to a Lycavolt from your hand or deck. As you guys know, the old Amp Pump, you're able to ditch it and expend 1 Thunder to grab 2 Amp Pumps and add to your hand. You now have 6 Amp Pumps to search for. So as someone who has seen this combo go off, I personally have not done it, but you're able to mill your deck down by 6. Now you have less cards in deck, you're able to find more combos. If you're going to go ahead and do the Ascension, again, always search from deck first, but you're able to get the next card off in that combo. So again, if you guys do not know, then you also have Lycavolt, the old Lycavolt, which is a 6 attack, 3 defense. It gets +2 attack for each Amp Pump in your Underworld. Let's talk about that for a minute. +2, you're going to add 12 attack to this if all 6 are in your Underworld. This will be an 18 attack Lycavolt. A 2 cost, or not naturally, but will beat over a Pantera with a 15 attack. That's absolutely insane. The other effect of this, when this Lycavolt destroys an opponent's Celestial in battle, you can look at that opponent's hand and discard a card from it. So think old school Spark-It with its Nexus effect. This one you have to destroy an Celestial in battle, but you're going to go ahead and rip a card from their hand, which is really good. New Lycavolt Champion of Zeus is a 7 attack, 3 defense, so it does have 1 stronger attack point. When you can, so this is every turn, you can target an Celestial. Until the next turn, give it -2 attack, and when that Celestial has 0 attack, you must destroy it. While Zeus is enchanted, this Lycavolt cannot be targeted by Divine Runes effects. So again, can't be affected by Demeter, can't be affected by Artemis, Zeus, etc. So cool thing about this, if you already have Zeus on field, again, you might want to because of Lycavolt's effect, you can go ahead and use Zeus's effect to minus anything down by 3. Then you go ahead and use this Lycavolt's effect, minus it down by 2 more. So anything from a 5 attack or less, you will automatically destroy and just remove from field. So think Cryo Burst, but for attack points. So this is really nice too. Again, every turn just gives something -2 attack so you can beat over it. That's nice, but again, if you're able to do any other scenario and just remove it from field and then attack directly. So This one's honestly, in my opinion, not as strong as the other one. The other one being able to rip from hand and boosting its own attacks is really nice. But again, if you're going to run these guys, run one of each. You can always side deck a second of the old Lycavolt. That way you can start like really hitting stuff over. But it's going to be really cool to see how these guys go, especially if you have other cards that can lower attack points. Again, Poison Tunic's another scenario. But again, you want to destroy that Elestral by battle so to get that burn effect. So guys, this is the list I have. Again, I think I'm most excited about the puppies. That's why I saved it for last. But again, looking at the other combos, especially like the Champion Demeter deck, keep able to search your deck through and through. Even if you're going to add a one of Rummagem or something else in there, again, that deck you want to run Viscerus just because you're playing Earth anyway. So putting a Rummagem to get your Viscerus and start those combos off. Dionysus is madness. I see that being a 2 of in almost every single deck. If you're not going to play a main deck, definitely side deck it. I know it's not Omni, but at the same time, Daze and Rage in this next meta is going to be insane. And just moving forward in general. Again, you're having a Side Nectar to search for your poison-tipped arrows, and you can even use Madness on that to daze it, to go ahead and grab another one. You want to just be careful not to daze and rage your opponent's Elestrals if they have other effects. You want to be able to stop that effect. I think Jertaya is another one. When it's enraged, it special ascends. So if you enrage it and it goes to activate its effect to ascend, you can use Madness to daze it, and now it can't ascend. So just keep that in mind when you guys are going forward. Again, having the effect of daze to daze your opponent's Celestial, even say it's Penterror or if it's Cryovern, being able to stop big guys from attacking, even if it's only for a turn, if you're able to do that every single turn and set yourself up a little bit, that's going to be nice. You know, if you're going to play the actual Dionysus, then you can do that effect every single turn. So just stuff to look at. Like I said, guys, I'm very excited. All these cards you've seen, I'm very excited. I'll be testing with all of them. Some other cards that maybe aren't here, Mushrooms. 100% I'm going to be going after the Funglo Brodulos decks just to see how that kind of plays out. But yeah, we're super excited. It's awesome that we're literally going into set 6 and set 1 cards are still relevant going into the next meta, which I'm really excited for. That being said, guys, my name is Stellar Christoph. I should have some more videos coming up for you guys soon. And have a stellar day, guys. We'll see you later. Peace.
With every breath, the winds of change